Do you think it's normal that you post and you get no engagement? Do you think it is normal that people sit on their phones for hours and hours and you can't even get engagement from people that you genuinely can help? Is it even fair that we don't get to be seen? Like it's not making sense, but there's a reason for that. There's a reason why the people are scrolling and they don't stop when they see your content. There's certain things that we as humans radiate in the online world that makes us stop and have a look at this person and think, you know what? This video or this post is actually worth my time. And there is a lot of nuances that needs to be considered when doing this because we know the feeling, but we sometimes don't know how to specifically evoke it. And that is why I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you to understand or help you to think at least about the fact that there's very specific thing that makes us stop and look and consider that we willing to contribute our time to this person which is a complete stranger and we've never seen them before, and then transitioning from the stranger to the trusted persona part. That is very important because you don't want to be always be a stranger. It takes so much effort to hook your people in through being a stranger. You want to start building some sort of recognizability, some trust amongst the people that see your content frequently. You need to build some image. And how is it that happens? Some people have tons of eyes watching them, and you get only a few personas that genuinely kind of look and be like, I like that guy. How does that happen? Well, it's very simple. Most decisions that we make as human beings, they're just emotionally based. And these emotionally based decisions are often tied in with drama or personality of the entity or the human that we are observing. There's certain level of vulnerability that we need to kind of open up ourselves to. We don't like to be seen and judged, but people love doing that, and that is literally why people sit behind their screens and never go outside to talk and engage genuinely with people because they themselves are afraid to be vulnerable, so they would rather sit online in their phone and look at other people being vulnerable and judge them for it. They might not pay, but right now we're trying to get us to resonate with people. The person needs to look at your screen and not your screen, your content, and feel something. They need to feel either that they're going to get some emotional satisfaction out of it, or they're going to get some resolution for the intrigue that you've created, or some emotional validation. Like these are, if you just focus on these three things, emotional validation, was it emotional satisfaction, and just dopamine hit essentially. You can get so many people with dopamine hit, but there is a difference between hooking them in and making yourself seen. We don't want to just hook people in because we will hook them in and they'll look at the video and they're like, oh, this is not what I got offered. And they'll just click off. And when they see a video again, they'll never come back. So we don't want to do that. We're building trust here. We're building trust, resonating with the viewers, and that is what we're building. Think butterflies in your belly. Like, just focus on that type of feeling. And when you can get even close to offering something like that, some satisfaction, some validation for the viewer, they will stick around because we cannot get emotional satisfaction from anywhere else other than people or ourselves. We forget how to do it for ourselves, so we seek it from other people. And once you can give it to other people, you can keep their attention. Keeping their attention for at least a short while until you explain yourself, that is all you need. Because once you've explained yourself, once you've been vulnerable, there is no for people to not trust you and not to look at your content. They will be coming back and they will be looking at what else do you have to say, because this time you said a very valid thing and I relate to you on that one, and it made me feel something because you know exactly how I feel, and that is why I watched your content, and that is why I will come back to have a listen what else you have to say. And that is when it is important to not never break trust in terms of um, either trying to be viral, trying to hook people in, trying to be fake. No, we can sense it very well, and there's a reason why virality community is hated by the generic population, because you just kind of hook people in, feed on their attention, and kind of sometimes not even give them anything. But in reality, that also doesn't work. Like, you always have to give something. Something needs to be given up to the viewer for them to feel like I will come back to this video. And no virality is like, every virality has something to offer. But we this is not what we're talking about. We're solving problems here. We're solving problems. We're thinking about your personality. And your personality comes from the stories that you've lived, the narratives that you've went through, is the drama that people love. The drama of you being somewhere and transitioning into something through certain struggles that you've lived by. And that is what is important to show in your content, especially when you're a coach. We need to show the story. Story needs to be, the narrative needs to be the core piece of the content, because that story shows the transition, and it needs to be framed in a specific way where you have a specific A to B transition. You have from here to here. This is how I got here, and this is what I can do for you, and this is why I am suited to do it, because this is what I've done, and this is how it's more better than other people doing it. Because when you compare yourself to other people as well, it just helps you massively. So an actionable advice is, look at your content past 5 posts. Don't need to go any further than that. Look if there is any narrative, any story that is true to you, that shows your personality, that shows your personal story, shows your personal drama. Like, no need to share any family drama. There's no need for that unless you're a family coach. Then you just have to. Like, there's literally no other reason, no other way for you. And look at your 5 posts and see if there's any story. If there isn't, you have to add it. If there is, look, why does it not make people feel things? Right now, your core idea is, look why your content doesn't make people feel things, and that is your main job. Your main job is to intrigue people with the story, to hook people in with the drama. And it's not that only girls like drama. Men love drama, and I hear so many men constantly talk about drama, and it will be the biggest lie ever to ever say that men do not like drama. Men love drama, and men love drama about other men. And it's something that we forget, that it's not just women. Men are emotional too. Men can get hooked in as well by the idea of specific story that they can relate to. Men are mentally struggling as well, and that is something to mention as well, because that is very important to notice and use that to not to get their attention, to actually try to help them. But by trying to help them, you need to kind of lure them in, manipulate them into watching your content, because there is actual value in there. You need to look like a shiny object for people to gravitate towards you. Only when it's shiny, we want to put our attention to it, and that's when the analysis starts. Is that, is this actually shiny? Is it actually worth looking at? Is it actually worth for my time to be contributed to that, my attention, my everything? Or do I just keep going and find something more entertaining? So we need to remember that we're competing with quite a lot of things online, especially the ones that simply just give you a dopamine rush. And we need to compete with that. And the only way to do that is to be relatable, to be vulnerable, to be specific, to be personal, to be to have certain type of personality to us that creates vulnerability, which creates trust. Trust is what we need, and trust is something that you will not be able to replace or do anything about. So we do not want to be viral. We do not want to hook people in. We want to stop, to get them to stop, and to get them to see. What do you want to see them? That is up to you. It's up to your story, up to your narrative, up to your drama that you've lived through. And that is what you need to think about. And literally, that should be the DNA to your content. So have a look. What's your story? What's your personality? How it resonates with you? How you can be vulnerable? And literally shove that into your content. Shove it very carefully. Don't make it messy, but literally shove it in, and it will make a big difference.